Ba-dee-lim-bum-ba-dum. Hey team, how we going? It's Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, and also Achilles, who doesn't have a weak heel. We're here for you today, like we promised last night, and it's in response to episode 4 of SAS Australia, Channel 7, the only time I sort of watch normal TV. Now, welcome to the stream. It's Wednesday night, the dead day of the year. Unless you're Joe Biden and it's the same day every day and night. But apart from that and the looming election that potentially will change the demographics of the way people think, etc., the landscape, the economy, security and deals made. Let's get on with what we were here to talk about, and that is SAS Australia Channel 7 and what we've seen over the last 24 hours. But first, we're going to say g'day to Bounty, who is the first one here. Hello. Say hello, Achilles. You don't talk as much as Dad. Albino Nick, I love your tan and high, said Cheech and Chong. We've got JC there, who's got some great ideas in the pipeline. Great to have you here, Thin Blue Line. We've got the train here. We've got Guardian 27. We've got Brody Higgins here. G'day, mate. Albino Nick, hey, Kaz. No one said hello to the puppy yet. Sorry I'm so hot at the moment, buddy. We've got YH Cal W. G'day, first time catching you live. Good to have you here, mate. Make sure you subscribe and we'll actually see you jump up on the screen there, mate. We've got Noah. Thanks for what you did to save the animals. This might have been one of them. We've got Glenn Jones here. Can we get some hype in the chat there? A couple of hands up of colour for the first time here for YH Cal. It is good to have you here. It's Wednesday. What else were you going to do? Sorry, puppy. It's getting pretty hot. Kenneth Hall, we've got assessment day in 2 weeks. That's pretty good. As long as you're a bit of yourself and you're the right customer for the job, you're going to do fine. But be aware, they're going to have a look in what side? The 6 o'clock brown eye. They'll have a check it out. Howdy, puppy, says Kenneth Hall. Good to have you here. Say hello, puppy. It's a little cavoodle for those that don't know. Come for the puppy, come for Kaz. Righto. This is the... Who we got there? Was that Spartacus? Scaticus. Similar. G'day, mate. How you going? And we've got Mark Schroeder there. We've got Fugly. Hello, Kaz. Can't stay tonight. Got me a hot date. Sorry. Does that mean you've been eating spicy chicken and your date is blowing out some fumes or what? I'm trying to multitask here. We've got Lauren making some tea on the other end. We've got the puppy down here looking for the great escape. We've got some terms we're going to be talking about tonight as we dive deep into Channel 7 SAS Australia, which is not an actual fact about SAS, but it is a fantastic, candid, and almost unscripted view into human nature and the way it devolves when there is a mission, adverse conditions, shortened timelines, and limited amount of human resource to deal with the threat at hand. Okay, we've got Jaden Harrison. Evening, everyone. Hope you're all going well. Lauren is here. Please leave us a thumbs up. We've got lovely Leah here. Leah, how's this little boy for you? Hey, look at the camera.
Oh, he's so cute.
The dog?
Yeah,
It's Kaz and Achilles.
He's adorable.
Yeah. Bad curry, Fugly. Stop it. Don't lick. I'm a boy. Bloody Navy. Billy Ocean Hound. We've got Luke Craig here. Good to have you here, mate. Hey, Kaz and team. Hope everyone is well. We've got the Spanner Mango. Albino Nick. Birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear guy who got sunblock for his entire life. Great tan albino. As racist as you can get by skin colour. Happy birthday to you. You can't have more white privilege than albino. Buddy.
Oh, come on now. Happy birthday. I hope you have a really great day.
And
How
what,
old are you?
Yeah, how old are you? What'd you get? Yeah, let us know. We've got the sad boy. I hope you're not too sad today. We've got Kane Higgins from up north. We've got Jay Hayes, west side. Not gang symbols. Or cerebral palsy. We've got we've got Corbin Kitchener. Cavoodle. Yeah, it is, mate. You can tell by the price tag, eh? We've got Will Butterfield. Good to have you here. Hey, Kaz. Good to watch the stream again. Very nice dog. It is a nice dog, mate, but it is already my Achilles heel. Aren't you? What are you doing? Sorry, buddy, it's hot as hell, isn't it? Jaden, happy birthday. Puss Elf Studios, g'day, mate. Guys and gals, let's talk about last night. Can we get some hands up for who actually watched episode 4 last night of SAS Australia, Channel 7? Stop it. Stop it.
No.
I love you. No smacks. Okay, you're going to go down.
Smoocher.
You're going to go down your lovely blanket. There you go, buddy. Right, when we watched it last night, I really wanted to tell you last night what we saw about it. And remember, we get a lot of people like Disgruntled Digger that didn't hear the full breakdown of the reason why we're doing this. It's the first thing that is kind of pertinent, that is kind of unscripted. I'm going to have to lock you up, mate. Sorry. That's unscripted, that allows you, okay, to have a look into human emotion and what it looks like to fail, when it looks like to get spoken to in an assertive manner, when there's no room for diplomacy. So it's not about SAS itself. It's SAS and Special Boat Service veterans that run the show. It's not a franchise. It's a standalone show and it travels around. At the moment, apparently, they're in a little bit of trouble because of Ant Middleton. Said something in New Zealand along the lines of he can't get COVID or something like that. I don't know. But last night when I was watching the show, there was points that are granted for positive and points that go against. I can only give 3 and 3. So I'm going to tell you about the points that go up and the points that go down, and then we'll explain why, and the standout situations, conflicts, takeaways of what occurred last night, the 27th of October 2020. Okay, which was also Hillary Clinton's birthday, I believe. So happy birthday to that piece of KFC. Talking about that, Hillary Clinton is coming down this Friday to my house for the next week. So that's not the real Hillary Clinton, of course, because I wouldn't swipe right to her.
Yeah, because I'd be worried about your safety, to be honest.
Okay, the points that went out last night. Okay, the breakdown was basically the good points. The good points go for the all-arounder. Okay, they go to Sabrina, and she's the female AFL player. One, because she's a great team player. She's definitely not an anchor at all. She participates and normally volunteers to go first and sets the standard in a lot of ways. Very mentally strong. You know, you don't need to look out for her. She doesn't need supervision. She's going to be there at the end. The other one is Ali. Although she was loud in the log carry, which we'll be talking about in a moment, basically what occurred was at least she was trying. Was it effective? No. But she tried in the absence of any peer leadership that occurred in an activity that we'll be speaking about in a moment. And the last one goes to Merrick. And that was the comedian, 44 years old, who pulled on, what's his name? Difficult name. Where is he? I'm going blind.
I don't know. I don't watch it.
Wait a sec. I'm actually going blind. I can't even see the screen. Guys, I'm about to turn the opposite. I'm about to turn back into Clark Kent. So we've got here... Dog, you're never going to be on the stream again. I'm sorry. Faraz Dirani. Faraz Dirani was his name. He's a Sydney guy, so come and find me if you will. But basically what happened was, Faraz is, you could say he's narcissistic, and he may or may not know it, and maybe there's nothing he can actually do about it. If it's a personality trait, there may be nothing you can absolutely do. It's just who and what you are. You're right. It might be just your colours, okay? It could be your true colours shining through. You know, dog of colour, K9, master of hounds, Robbie Kent. Okay, so what happened? No chewing. Stop it. No means no. Hashtag. Okay, black cords matter. Okay, so basically what happened was, Merrick, the situations occurred and compounded where since the start of the show we've seen Faraz Okay, every time there was an opportunity to make things worse for the team, not to be a team player, he stood up and took that mantle and made it harder for his team. Whether it was, because remember, they're in near Lithgow, which is extremely cold. It was set in winter. The reason why that's done is because then you make people automatically uncomfortable, which makes them easier to break down. Okay, everything is worse in the cold. Okay, everything. It's okay, baby. Okay, from there, basically what happened is for us is it's good to go for a swim. It's good to go for a run. Ultimately, the tipping point for the first 3 females to quit within the first few hours of the entire show, almost all of them were linked to, sorry, buddy, I love you, but we're going to have to close down for a second. Okay. Stop it, mate. I love you, but stop. I wish I could do the same sometimes. So basically what occurred was everyone that has had a hard time or quit was because the job was about to get made harder because of his injection of what he was saying that was getting the DS offside. All I ask is for you to simply do what you're told. Yes, sir. No, sir. And treat the DS cordially, but also understand that the enemy is the mission and is the DS. The combined team is the family. You know, it's like having one kid in the school that keeps causing shit. He's that guy. And maybe he was injected into this for that very reason within the show. Now, eventually it got to the stage where, you know, in this politically correct world, it's so hard for someone to actually have the courage and step up and say, enough is a goddamn enough. And he did it. Okay, he's 44 years old. I'd expect that. For us, he's 36. I wouldn't expect that from his age. He called him out in front of everyone and basically said, this is the deal. What you're saying, you need to learn to shut up. You need to learn to play the game. And that was the opportunity for us to say, I'm sorry, you're right. I haven't been a good team player. And from here on, I will change. And God, team, sorry. But no, it didn't. So now infighting is caused, and we call that the rot. Once that sets up in a team environment, whether it be outfield, whether it be on operational deployment, that can mean the morale drops. And when the morale drops, that can be devastating for any organisation. Just like when mum and dad are arguing or kids are arguing on the way to Wet and Wild. It doesn't work out well for anyone. But Merrick gets the point for stepping up and saying, no more on my watch. And ultimately what it did was spark a revolution against this dickhead who says the reason why he is the way he is because of cultural reasons, because he comes from a lineage of freedom fighters. And you're going, you don't have to be a dickhead. And when we talk about the log event in a moment, a lot of this will make sense as well. So the points that go out that are good was Merrick, Ali, okay, in the log event, okay, the log carry event, approximately 5 kilometres. I don't know if it was actually that long. That's how much they claimed for attempting to take leadership in the absence of leadership at peer level. And Sabrina for being the stalwart, the tungsten, the Mrs. Reliable, or the reliable person within the team. There was a lot of people that are reliable, but she was a great one. Now we have the disappointments, and it was sad to see, and it doesn't mean they're bad people. Jackson Warren is too immature for the show. He's 21 years old, 5 years older than what people were when they went to Gallipoli. Okay, he admitted that he's been living in his father's shadow. He's a poker player. How spoilt are you that that's your job at 21 years old? He says, I can't divorce myself from being under the shadow of my father, Shane Warne. Well, that's quite simple. You just take on something that is completely different to cricket if that's not your flavour. Baby, that's my flavour. And you go and join the fire brigade or the police force or the military. You go and do something that allows you to have nobility of giving back to the nation, service to the community. So you actually create from the very bottom the teamwork, the calibre, the points required to be the best version of you. And I tell you what, imagine how proud Shane Warne would be for his son not to be a celebrity, for his son to go in, do the hard yards and win and bring his name, Warne, into high regard for a second reason. He wore the baggy green. Imagine his son wearing the puggaree or the green puggaree of the 1st Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment. Building honour to the name in a second syllable. Fantastic. But although he looks great on Instagram, he was shit physically. Okay, he looks the part. He's also weak mentally. So much so that basically what occurred was an event was going to occur, which was going to be a hard event. When word got up to the DS, peer-on-peer evaluation, so to speak, the truest form of finding out who the rot is inside an organisation, okay, the weakest member, the weakest link, who do we need to get rid of, who's the danger man, okay, they actually got the team to come and stand out the front and say, who would you not accept in this team? And they had to actually say it out loud. So that they had to own it, and the person that they believed had to hear it. The two names that came up was Faras, despite the fact he's a physical specimen. Really, really good. You want him on your team, you just don't want him as a leader. He's fantastic, but just as a participant. Okay? The second one was actually Jackson Warren. So what their staff did, they led this into, which was the second event, the peer-on-peer evaluation, name your mate. Could you do it, Lauren? Could you stand out the front if you were the first person and look at 14 other people and say, that is the person I can't rely on, that is the person I don't want in my team? Would you be able to do that?
Well, it would be difficult. If I didn't know them at all, it would be difficult. Have I seen them perform much?
You've already been into the third or fourth day, and you've already suffered multiple times. You've seen their character.
Yes, I could. I've got very good discernment.
Okay. So I think this is the most valuable lesson that is coming out of this, because the Rangers do it. Australia does it in courses. We'll pick out our peers and tell you, you tell me who the rotten egg is. Who is the worst? Because it's very rarely wrong, team. And it's done unanimous. Normally it's done anonymously within the Australian Army to make sure it's even more legit. But your name still has to be on it, so we can go back to that person and go, tell me why it's that person. Because some people, for some reason, especially junior officers, are so immature that they think it's a game. You're going, someone can lose their job over this. It's no game. So what they did is they decided, okay, this is going somewhere, 2-syllable movement, 5-move chess. Okay, and they said, okay, for the two guys, come and step out here. Right, who was picked as the weakest people? What's going to happen is Alpha team, Bravo team, you're now the leaders of that. So they gave them responsibility. They gave them command of the two teams in charge of the people that had just pointed them out as the weak link. That's important, because if you give people an opportunity to shine, sometimes they do. Faraz Durrani was pointed out for being a troublemaker, a big mouth, a non-team player, non-conformist, but extremely fit. So by giving him the chance now to use that mouth for good, what did he do? He failed. He picked up the log, sure. He gave no instruction to his team, no encouragement to his team. All he did was participate and let them get yelled at. And ultimately, his leadership led them to come last. Right? So he had the opportunity to use his big mouth for good, and he didn't do it. He failed. You have to step up. And that's what we're going to talk about, leadership, and where you can make yourself, you can identify yourself as that leader type, or absolutely not. I'm a participant type, a supporter type. Right. The other one was Mitchell Johnson, and this one upset me. There was a very upsetting moment where I'd already been a little bit triggered, upset about Mitchell Johnson the day before, going from the baggy green, the top levels of Australian cricket, the sport of gentlemen, okay, and him breaking down saying, I'm not the man that I thought that the country thinks I am, and maybe I'm falling short of who I thought I am. So what was sad about that, make sure you subscribe if it's your first time here so we can see if this is working down here for the subscriber goal. Donation goal is $1 for tonight, and members has actually gone backwards since we came on. Thanks for the support then, pulling it away. So what was really upsetting was seeing a grown man, mature man, apex guy breaking down, and knowing, because this has been all caught on camera, this is the new defined him by society. He was a fantastic guy. They said to him when he quit on the log run, they gave him 3 chances before he actually quit. And then it was basically, dude, all right, that's you. The war's over for you. See you after. The next time you saw Mitchell Johnson, wait 2 seconds, time out for a second. Leah, my shout coffee for the team and Achilles. It's always the dog that gets it. Here we go. Leah, thank you very much, my lovely.
I accept.
Thank you very much, mate. And I'm going to give you a tentacles that because you just gave us a jaundice cow. Tentacles. But that's not me being Weinstein or Epstein.
It's a crackhead. Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, calamari.
We always try to make it a little bit different for you every stream, okay? I'm just trying to do what I can for you guys to come up with the content. Army of 1, 2 down here. He hasn't said anything in ages, probably snapping off some bloody chocolate ice cream inside his bed. Thank you very much, Leah's shout for coffee and for the team and Achilles. Excellent. Thank you very much, mate. If you subscribe, you're going to come up on there as well, team. So make sure you do. It's not hard and it's free. Like if you went in doubt. These are a hard crowd sometimes, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, but, you know, like I've never watched the show, but I always find the community dialogue is very interesting.
I wish I had time to read it.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be talking.
Jeez, the people in the army be going, Kaz, I can't believe people want you to talk.
I think people come here to hear you talk.
Come, oh ye, says the shepherd.
Or the sheepdog.
Yeah, or the sheepdog. Yeah, so basically what happened was, for some reason, Mitchell Johnson has really hit a nerve in me. Probably because, although he's a lot younger than me, I'm 49. Sounds like a footy jersey. I get it. But I just don't know where he's going to go from here. It went to where he was having a phone call with his wife and letting her know that he'd failed. And I don't think he meant the show. I think he meant he failed himself. And from there, he basically said, I'm going to be home soon. And there was a rare moment where you saw a bit of real Ant Middleton, and the videos that have come out on the social media and the tabloids, they basically admit that what you see on the show is the same way. There is no producers walking around. There's no one saying, you say this, fabricating moments. That's not occurring. They're capturing what's actually happening because there's enough stress there. They don't have to make shit up. It just occurs. Now, Ant Middleton came into the room, saw him there in the administration area where he was getting ready to disembark, did him out from the village. And he stood up and gave a real man-to-man, not Navy, not Billy Ocean, hug to Mitchell Johnson. He's probably getting flack from everyone in England that was a cricket fanboy. But it was a really important moment to see that he'd said to him that quitting is not always bad. And there was a message. And that doesn't mean be a natural-born quitter. Tarantino, seen the movie. What he's saying is there is a time when you break. In PTSD, there's normally a cataclysmic event where you actually break down and do damage to the circle of, around you, whether that be your friends, whether it be your colleagues, whether it be your family. That's not quitting. That's just the moment the glass smashes and you break. And it is catastrophic. It's very emotional. It's very ugly. It's like biting ice with 10 fillings needed. It's you pull some weird faces. Yep. And I just don't know where he's going to go from here. You know, does he go back?
I'm confused about what the controversy is.
Which one?
Because I don't, like with the Ant Middleton, like why can't he say whatever he wants to say?
Well, you can't.
If he wants to say that he thinks or he believes he can't catch something that I won't mention, why can't he just say it? Let people form their own opinions. Who cares? He can believe what he wants. I'm sick of this, cancel culture.
Well, they've got a very left-leaning Prime Minister, Mr. Dern, over in New Zealand. And
yeah, well, what are you going to do? Make a law about what people can believe or not believe? Come on now.
That's what people on the left generally believe.
Well, then they can just suffer. Yeah. If they're going to be so butthurt about what someone else thinks or believes, then let them suffer unless they're going to actually make a dictatorship that actually come out and say it, we want to police your thoughts. Then let them writhe around in pain from it. There's, so what?
Yeah. And you know what? When people are bored, they tend to make up crisis, don't they?
Yeah, when people don't have their real problems, I'd say, there's people with real problems out there who don't have the time to be worried about what someone else believes.
Yeah. For the guys and gals that did watch last night, it's one thing for me to say, oh, it didn't work out, but I can give you solutions, and I'll tell you. As an instructor of the School of Infantry, the one thing that happens when you go to Kapuka is you basically get a dummy put in your mouth, a pacifier, and you get told, eat with your spoon in this hand. Left, right, left, even told how to walk, what you can do, where to be, how to do it, and when to do it. So people tend to almost draw back within themselves where if I'm not getting told to do it by someone, am I meant to do it? And it's called initiative. And as you leave Kapuka, or near the ends of Kapuka, and for those that have marched out, they'll know, the hand slowly comes off like the chain that's put on the elephant's leg is replaced with a piece of string. So metaphorically, the elephant feels like it is still tethered when in actual fact, it could snap it like that. But it's so used to it that it doesn't do anything. It is a reluctant servant without realising it could leave whenever it wanted. So what happens when you get to the School of Infantry? Again, you'll be directed in everything you do because it's still at the teach level. But there's things called the section competition where we're going to get you to have all these awkward amounts of equipment. There was 8 on each log last night. And what I would have said is what you should have done is sharpen the axe before you started chopping the tree. He should have said to his team, okay, the other team's running off, but they're going to run out of energy and they're going to learn that they could have done things better. I'd have said, can we put the log on the shoulder? I'm sure they could have. By putting the log on the shoulder, all it is everyone has it on the left side or the right side. And when you say change, you lift up, you put it on the right-hand side. That gives you other shoulder the break. The tallest people go to the rear because the rear is the heaviest end. It also makes you streamline, which means the front person also determines who is setting the course. But what it also means is you can have a rest. You could have one person that goes, okay, the person at the front. When we say move, everyone shuffles forward a little bit on the log. The person at the front, you have 100 metres to do shrugs, get that blood going back inside your traps. Rather than carry it down and let your forearms take all of the guilt, which is going to set in very, very fast. If you decide to keep it down at hip level, and I don't know why you would, because it's an unusual situation, then what you can do is also have one person where you say straight away, I am the leader, you are the 2IC. The 2IC is always near the back. The section commander is at the very front and sets the pace. The 2IC decides when to change. So what happens is, when I say change, you put the log down. If it's allowed to touch the ground, if it's not simulating a casualty, the person at the front comes around to the back, and if he had it in his right hand, they have it in their right hand. I won't assume your gender. Then they come around, and then the next time they pick it up with the left hand. Okay, we've got 100 metres to go. Then we change. 100 metres later, change. Okay, prepare to lower, lower. Okay, prepare to lift, lift. 100 metres to go. Let's go. Then you just broke 5 kilometres down to 50 legs. You just made it achievable. You gave it 50 bites of the elephant, and that's at least 9 times you're going to get 100 metres where you're not touching the log. That's a smart way to do it. Give somewhere to reach. So they go, okay, I can go that far. If you make it impossible for them to actually be able to see the finish line and just think about their fatigue, or you could even say each time we change, the person at the front becomes the commander. Because when you're commanding, when you're organising things, you don't think about pain anymore, you think about the mission. Yeah, that's how to do tasks 101. Yeah, and that's something we used to do in the army a hell of a lot on mill skills. 40 stands in 4 days, 10 stands a day, a kilometre in between. And as soon as you do one, good or bad, wipe the slate. The next one, we start again. It was a really, really good way to do business. And at the end of it, you know exactly where the order is. You know who has leadership. You know, these people, when they go back home to their rooms, because they're not used to being team members, all they do is lay around their own filth, not prepare their gear, feel sorry for themselves, when they could be sitting there and going, okay, leadership 101, team meeting. Okay, what can we do better? What could we change? Who's a standout? If someone is a natural leader, whether it's Magnuson, okay, Magnuson, every time we go in there, The DS think they're in charge. Bullshit. You are. You tell us what you want us to do. Let's rage against the machine. That is what happens in resistance groups, how they end up prevailing. They fight back through leadership, through someone saying, we can't go any lower. Okay, so take that away. So overall, what I believe occurred was the three standout things. One, okay, was the key moments were the peer-on-peer evaluation where they had to choose who the weak people were, who became the leaders. The other one was the breakdown of the actual group and the confrontation of FARAS, which took leadership, but it had to get down, sent to a certain level before they fought back. And the third one was the actual physical component being the log run, with the teams being Alpha and Bravo. Ultimately, Ali was the standout that showed the most leadership in trying to get it going, despite the fact that what she was saying wasn't about changes, wasn't about distance, it wasn't about carrying out things in a more economic way. The standouts were, okay, Sabrina. The other ones were Merrick for his fortitude, okay, starting the revolution, and the other one being Ali. The sad ones were Mitchell Johnson, okay, who found out that he's not in the space he needs to be, and he actually quit the show. Right, then we had Jackson Warren, who found out, righto, that he went on there to change himself, and basically what he's done now is probably tarnish himself. Okay, and I hope he stays with the show and rebuilds himself and comes out, a newer version of himself. And for us, I don't think it's going to change at all. They didn't need to make a villain. He made himself one. Right. If anyone's got anything on that, let us know. Otherwise, we'll move on to your questions now as the global channel. And I'm just going to see what this little puppy's doing. Hey, buddy. It's all right. He's okay. So, Lauren.
Yeah?
Sorry about that. Simon Powell is here.
Yeah, he's here. He's feeling a bit down. He went a bit backwards, but we're all there for him.
And
I've gone backwards recently too, So we go up and we go down and we just keep dusting ourselves off and keep going.
And there it is there, Simon. The Fitbit is here, waiting to come and get you. Yeah. Then you won't be going backwards, Sailor. You'll be going forwards. JC, okay, talking to each other.
It'll make it easier. Well, there was someone said something up here that I was going to bring to your attention, but you were on a roll.
Sorry.
So no, that's okay. I didn't want to disturb you. Let me see. Jesse Enderby was saying he has no respect for Ant because he abused a cop. What does that mean? Did he punch one or did he just give him a verbal?
No, he bashed a female police officer and he went to jail.
Yeah, so he's done his time for that and blamed it on his mental illness. Well, here's the thing. It might have been.
Yeah.
Because mental illness does have symptoms, and more often than not, those symptoms are when you have a breakdown. And when you have a breakdown, it plays out differently in all sorts of people. And some people do become rageful if they're having a breakdown. And that is just the way it is. He might not have been making an excuse. He may have just been telling you the truth about why that happened.
And
it doesn't make it all right. It's never an excuse for a crime, but it may just have been the truth of I got to that point because I wasn't managing my mental health and I had a breakdown.
Yeah, true. And he did his time over it. Does the cop? What did you say? Does she accept that? I wonder. I don't know.
I don't know. That's just, I'm sure JC will tell us their job. They probably deal with lots of people at the worst moments of their life, I'm guessing.
And you know what? I'm a really big advocate for the thin blue line, but I've seen a lot of cops.
Same.
But I've also seen a lot of cops that deserve a smack in the mouth the way they're handling the situation.
Look, people are people, There's good and bad eggs and people have good and bad days and they're not robots and I'm glad they're not. But that with that does come human error and decision making, and some people who aren't so great at their job as what other people are. I'm sure JC's seen some pretty shitty cops too. Well,
because JC's also been a cop for a long time and he's an older guy, he's also a mentor of other police officers.
Yeah.
So there is a bell curve of soldiers. There is a bell curve of every industry and humanity, and not everyone that is in special force is crazy special, and they'll tell you that too. You know, they look at their own people and go, how'd that person get in? And that happens in every industry.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And they probably get promotions, you know. It seems like sometimes always the biggest idiot gets the best opportunities. Yeah. I've just got to let my dog out for a wee. I'll be back in a second.
No problems. We've got MSC. He was drunk and assaulted a police officer whilst in SF and did 14 months. He admitted that on the show. Yep. And I don't think he's taken a backward step saying... Okay, that he was treated badly. Did he actually leave the force because of that, Emma? Yeah. Yeah, we can't ask JC to comment. Is still a serving officer, and we're not allowed to have political views, and people need to understand that too. That's why I don't understand why it's okay for some politics in the military but not for others. Doesn't make sense to me. Guys and gals, you're going to make mistakes in your lives. And I'll tell you one thing that JC can tell you is almost every single one of you has done something that if you're caught for could have been enough to either put you in the courthouse or put you in the lockup. The difference between someone in the lockup is normally they've done it multiple times, okay, or they got caught. Okay, if the police want you, they can find a way, believe me. You know, so, you know, don't always judge the person that gets caught.
Yeah, they've got a lot of resources. Yeah, you know, but just people, you know, they're not perfect and we can't expect them to be perfect because they are people and they have breakdowns too. And they have a high incidence of like depression and PTSD and things. And these things, we say them all the time, mental health issues, but they really do play out in our lives. You know, they actually affect the way we behave. And if it's not managed well, things can get out of control. And sometimes with people, it's aggression.
JC goes, no, I'm perfect.
Perfect for us.
If this is your first time, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It's great to have you here. It looks like it's pretty much all the. There's Cane and Peppers up there. Because I was told to break into smaller goals. You aren't running 5 kilometres. You break it down to a manageable circuit. That's right, mate. That's right. Yep. And you give hope to others. There's nothing worse than being on a patrol where you don't know how far we're going because although you've been at the orders group, you're not the one navigating. You're just carrying the M249, the Minimi. Okay, you're carrying a weapon system in adverse conditions. Just thinking this is never going to end. Okay, but the boss knows exactly how long it is before he stops. He can take a break whenever he wants. You know, he's thinking about navigation. He's actually preparing the force for the best formation to tackle whatever threat comes up. So, you know, it is difficult. They need to tell you, okay, not far to go. We're going to have a 5-minute short halt up here. And guys tend to go, yeah, okay, good.
Yep. And like JC said there, we don't have a DVA for police. Yet he's seen more death in the police than in his military career, which is, that's another problem because I believe they don't even have like career planning like you do in the army. You know, you get your 5-year plan and that. I believe in the police it's totally different. And I think, we've got police families trying to hold up other police families. And, you know, where would we be without them? It would be awful.
I don't think there's a single thing. I don't think there is a single thing that I think the police do well as an organisation as far as looking after our police officers.
Exactly right, because I think we know that we've got enough science behind the prevalence of PTSD and depression, and of course we know what causes it. So of course when they're seeing a lot of trauma, there's an awful lot of life and death situations, and they are seeing people always on their worst days. Yep. They are the people who come when there's trouble. So we know that can cause trauma-related issues. And the fact that they have not managed that risk or have a duty of care to their actual officers, I think should outrage the general public.
Yeah, well, who defends the cop? At the end of the day, when you know you get injured, that you have to actually sue your own organisation, and you're going, I don't hate you. Why do I want to sue you? And they go, that's how you get looked after. The fact their seniority is not based on your promotion as much as what it is based on the day you joined. That doesn't make sense. That means a great cop can actually be getting told what to do by a peer level cop who has just done a couple more months,
Yeah.
but might not be very good at their job or trusted in a fix.
Or just have the experience, to make a wise decision. I've seen a couple of people throw around the idea that, and I was wondering how you feel about this, that DVA should cover emergency service people also.
They've only got a certain amount of money.
Yeah, but
and it's veteran affairs. It's about military, and it's quite interesting. Like when we go up, this is an interesting one. Would be good to have a talk with people in the executive branch of police. At what level do you class a police officer a veteran? Because they could face a catastrophic, kinetic incident in their first shift. And we've actually had that police officer was killed in that car crash the other day, where that gentleman ran into and took the lives of those 4 police officers. God bless them.
I don't know.
It's a really weird situation.
Yeah.
There's not that.
I've got something controversial to say. There is
NWA.
You know how I'm a big helper of the veteran community. But quite honestly, there are some folk who are collecting DVA who I really don't even understand how they've made the claim for what they've got. And quite frankly, I'd rather that money be used towards supporting a police officer who has got like a more genuine reason for having a serious need for specialist care.
In saying that, when the police have an incident, and it does get taken, when it gets taken care of, it can be many, many times more significant than what a soldier receives, but...
It's that's true.
So,
but I think it is something that needs to be looked at, and obviously we need some ideas thrown around from people to, because it's not really even something people talk about.
It's a conversation that needs to happen, and one of the reasons why that's hard to actually get that resistance force going simply is because as well that mateship is frowned upon in the police force. Mateship is seen before the Fitzgerald inquiry as being a tarnished cop, as being potentially a crooked cop. If you're good friends, then how do we know you aren't doing things together? I think that's the reason why, and also because of monetary cutbacks, that we often see police officers patrolling by themselves, especially in rural environments, so you don't have to pay for 2. But I don't believe they have a partner system like they used to have, someone you could build up a trust with and know they've got your back and know that you don't have to look behind you. That person, is the hand on your shoulder, has your six, so to speak. Jesse, I want to join the Queensland Police and also do the Army Police, then Army or Army first, then Police. It always makes more... Army and Police is the only way to do it, mate. It doesn't make sense to go Police then Army, because the Army is about experience, growing older, growing stronger, using firearms, using the rank, the communications, preparing for when the glass breaks, and then from there pulling that back, and then being a more mature individual where you're entrusted with the public. It used to be quite common that you didn't go to the police force until you were older, until you'd actually had life experience.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the best way to do it, and a lot of folk do it that way. Mr. Buckaroony, Jason.
Look, how positive, honestly. Put your hand up, throw a hand up there, team, that if you watch anything on Mr. Buckaroony's channel. Now, camping might not be your flavour. Right, I get that. But Mr. Buckaroony is the most positive dude. He made it to warrant officer in Signals Corps in the Army. He went to cops. He was in the cops in far north Queensland, and then he went into the correction industry, and he's happy as buggery. And here he is getting around, just trying to make videos to make people happy. He's an amazing dude. Met him in face to face. He contributes to our causes. He's a great guy.
Ross is lovely too. He's got a lovely family, a cute puppy. There's no reason not to check out his channel.
Here you go. The Wasp is here. Billy Ocean. We've got some Navy here. Okay, Wasp. Yeah, the second guy in the 7 News vid sort of looks like me. I'm going to have a look again. Is that the thumbnail that I gave? We'll have to have a look. Jesse. Damn, JC. Cheers for service. Yeah, cheers for the service, JC. I don't know if we've ever said that to you before.
I have, but yeah, you know, it's nice for people to know. I know you don't expect it, but we feel like we want to do something sometimes to let you know you're loved.
What's this we're talking about? JC cocaine use is rife in any profession.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like the smell.
That could be an obstacle, but you're better off just never trying it, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think you need any help. You're already full of energy and...
Look, at the end of the day, people try things, It's really weird. Like, I look at, for some reason, coffee is my favourite drink, outside Coca-Cola. I'm sorry, baby. But if I don't have that for one day, I'm a mess. I can feel what feels like a migraine coming on. It's amazing we look up to something that is like coffee, like it's the good thing for us. Maybe it's a necessary. Maybe that is the artificial charging of the mobile phone to get us to the next situation. Wait 2 seconds. I can't let the little boy sleep too much.
No, he won't sleep.
He won't sleep tonight.
Yeah.
For those that have just come back on here, team, I'm not alone tonight. Hey, buddy. Come here. Come on. Come here, little mate. I love you. That's right, Wasp. You heard me just telling a little boy that I love him.
Yeah, of course you do.
Here he is. Team, this is Achilles if this is your first time here. I'm not trying to put Leah into a acute coma here. It's okay, buddy.
Oh.
Did someone say ambush? Look how tired you look. Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
He couldn't be any more adorable.
Yeah, look at his little paws.
Yeah, I know. Look at his tummy.
He's a good boy. He's a thick boy.
He's so cute.
Yeah. Sorry?
JHK is off to study for their OSB.
AJK?
No, yeah, JHK.
Okay.
Yeah. And Donkey Bong says, hi Kaz, I'm waiting for an assessment day. I was just wondering what are the chances of getting into 2 RAR straight from Singo?
Well, mate, to tell you the truth, there has to be a position available. If there's no position, it's impossible no matter how good you are. Now, we saw of Long Tam Platoon that they weren't offered any positions for the 2nd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment, second to none. Okay, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be some for you. Because there's a certain amount of positions in every unit. It's not like an Army Reserve unit that has endless amount of positions. Okay? So, when you get to Kapuka, no worries, that they can't affect what battalion you go to. But when you get to the School of Infantry, you let them know straight away exactly where you want to go and why. Grease the wheels a little bit. Talk to the section commanders. Tell them the reason why you want to go there. And then show them through actions that you are the droid they're looking for. When you represent them in the battalion that they probably came from, okay, that, you're the real deal. And that'll go well in your corner for them saying, okay, Daz is a Hyundai driving maniac. You need this guy in the 2nd Battalion. If he can do that in a Hyundai, what can he do in a Zodiac? What are you doing?
Exactly.
Little boy.
Oh, Kaz. He's so beautiful.
You love him because he looks like a cat from there.
Oh, no, he just looks like a little fat ball of fluff.
He does. That's what...
He's got the best ears.
He does. They're very cute.
Dad reckons poor Derek might be getting a bit jealous that he's not getting any attention anymore.
Well, Derek would have heard me say the reason why I love Achilles more is because he tastes like chicken.
No, good heavens.
I used to say to soldiers when they turned up to the School of Infantry, okay, go and stand over there if you like cats, go and stand over there if you like dogs. And the poor bastards wouldn't know what to say. So you'd always get someone think it's a trick question and go and stand over with the cat lovers and you go, you're going to have a hard time here, son. oh, no, I do love dogs. Oh, I thought it was a trick.
Yeah, what if you like both?
You can like both.
What if you don't like either? Where do you go stand?
Can't trust a man that doesn't like dogs.
I think that's what Mark Twain said.
Yep. If a dog is a man's best friend and you don't like it, what does that say? That calls you a farce. Hey, Rob, the keeper of hounds.
He has a question.
Okay.
What was your favourite rank while you were in the military?
It'd be between... They've all got their merit, mate. Being a digger is fantastic. Don't try and overthink it. Just be the best version of you as a soldier and have the most fun with the least amount of responsibility. 2IC is the worst rank in every corps. It sucks. That's one stripe because you're the administration, you're the mum of the call sign, and your job never finishes and there's no appreciation for it. Section commander is the first real autonomous commander's position, which is excellent. You're like a god to and sit there and just have a good time, but I reckon platoon sergeant, for the amount of influence that you have and some of the extra postings that you can get, that was, I believe, holy shit, that scared me. I believe platoon sergeant was my favourite rank because the influence that you get when you're within that role, where you can actually talk candidly to platoon commanders, where you can shape other section commanders, right? And then from there have a greater difference if you care about the corps, if you care about the organisation. So to me, platoon sergeant, anything above that, you're crossing the road over away from the soldiers. It's more paperwork, it's more political, and I don't like that. Donkey Bong, thanks for the answer, Kaz. I won't let you down. That's fine, mate. And this one's coming to you. Hold your breath, Cal.
I accept.
Hey, Luke Hutchins has just become a member. I haven't seen it go green there. Sorry, buddy. Did you do it for me or for the puppy, mate? Okay. For some reason, Luke, it didn't come up on the members. I'm sorry about that, mate. So here's your Kraken, sir.
It's a Kraken. Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, calamari.
Can we get a hand of appreciation from every single member in green for our new member, Luke? The Force, Luke.
Can I give
The
one
Force.
I'm not a member?
If you want to.
I'll give it some thumbs of colour.
Yeah, Patreon, you can throw in there too. I'm addicted to this. Thanks, guys. Thanks very much. It's funny, the only one we haven't had is a subscriber, and the subscriber is free.
Yeah. Maybe you're still shadow banned.
Maybe.
Could be.
Depends on what subject we talk about, isn't it? And honestly, no one knows more about this than people like Lauren and Mr. Buckaroony and that. When you're a content creator, if they don't want you to be seen, you won't be seen. It's as simple as that. Hey, Donkey Bong.
Yeah, exactly. It's their algorithm and they can do what they want with it.
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you.
Dad wants to know what kind of dog my dog is. He's a cross between a Labrador and a Irish Wolfhound.
Yeah. He's a thick boy. I talk to him sometimes. Donkey Bong.
It's a Kraken. Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, calamari.
So Leah was saying that her daughter is 10 and growing too fast. My little girl's about to turn 9.
Saying that it made her, that Achilles was making her want to get a puppy for her daughter.
Do it, mate. Do it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a great age for a pup.
the reason why I did it, Leah, was I figured there's going to be times where girls are complicated, where she's not going to want to talk to dad or mum, but having a puppy or a dog beside her, might be enough to just keep her grounded a little bit with some responsibility that doesn't need talking, just love. Something that'll still go up to her and not let her sulk. Sorry?
Like you said, a battle buddy. Everyone needs one. Little boys need dogs too.
Yeah, they do.
Critters, they're really become good friends and confidants for them. Bug has said...
I love that name, by the way, and I hate his thumbnail. That squirmy-looking rat bastard centipede. It makes me itchy.
In 5 days.
5 Cinco Dias.
Yeah, and he wants to know what are the ideal battalions to shoot for and why.
I like that pun there, to shoot for. Mate, I reckon you can't go wrong if you just go to Townsville. If you go for 1, go for 3, or go for 2, Townsville is, I reckon, the best place to start because it's not too far north, it's not too far south, it's not too civilian being down in the Brisbane battalions. I think it's just right, and it's quite a cheap standard of living there. There's a little bit of crime that's happening there at the moment, but that shouldn't involve you. I think it's a good way to start. It's your call, mate, but you asked. I'd say 1st Battalion and 2nd Battalion. Closely behind that is 3rd. Closely behind that is 6th area. That's what I'd say.
There you go. Straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. You're not going to sleep tonight, I know it.
Huh? He's loving having a nap in your arms.
Is he making you angry?
No, he's distracting me greatly. Because he's so beautiful.
Yeah, he is cute. Bug, I would go to Townsville, not for the battalion. I'd go there for the Cactus Jacks. And you know what? Do you really want to be in a city with bustle? Do you want to be in a city up north which is so goddamn hot that you just can't get away from it? Townsville's hot. But wouldn't you rather be somewhere where in the afternoon, every day you can go down the Strand, go for a walk in a T-shirt and singlet, run up Castle Hill 4 metres shy of being a mountain and just have a coffee, look at someone else's wife, feel the breeze in your hair and just go, you know what? I can drive across this town in 15 minutes. Semi-rural is just a good place to go, my friend. There's 175,000 people. You can buy a brand new unit. Have a look on realestate.com. When you get a chance, everyone, when you get a chance, look at realestate.com and look at units on the water in Townsville. It will blow your hair back. $400,000, you can be in a 2-bedroom apartment over the water. Fantastic. Hey,
We've got another Kraken.
I just saw that. And who have we got? Mutt. Welcome to the Great Unwashed. Is that a, did you just change your name? If you did, here's some calamari for you, you filthy animal. Oh.
Cutest zombie I've ever seen.
It's a Kraken!
It is
Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, calamari.
Yeah, it's a nice one for the members tonight, Leah, and thank you very much, Matt. Let's make him feel welcome. Do a members Patreon call out for Matty. It's
Matt.
Matty.
Yeah.
I was just saying it like a Kiwi. Matt.
Yeah. You need to stop saying things like Kiwis after the other day.
Leah, if you don't mind, your daughter's 10 years old. Is she into music and dance? Am I wasting my money? Because I spend a fortune to send her off on everything she wants to do, which are probably...
No, it's good for a young lady to be accomplished.
Yeah.
My girls did their things. One played violin, the other one played guitar, one did dance, all kinds of dance, So you've got to send them off. Same with boys, Some do judo, others do, one plays piano. They all have their own things.
This dog tastes like chicken. I tell you what, guys, I'm a happy dude at the moment. I'm a happy dude.
Yeah, that's what Rob was just saying. You look, he said he could be way off, but Kaz looks happier and more relaxed. Yeah, exactly.
Well, being
Because it does that. That's why they take puppies and that into old people homes and that.
what are you saying?
It's good for you. I'm not saying that's not what I meant. I mean, it's good. It's therapeutic.
Yeah, it is. Okay, everyone, can we say good night to little one?
Yeah, good
It's
night,
okay, baby.
Achilles.
It's okay, Achilles. It's almost time to go to sleep. There you go. Good night. Good night, Bubba. What do you say? Bye-bye.
Bye.
I can't believe I'm nearly 50 years old and I'm more excited than my daughter. I'll be with you in a second, buddy. Yeah, so sorry about that, team. Juggling more things at once, and by the way, I am definitely not a multitasker, I tell you. We've got lovely Carl down there. Carl is a funny dude. When we have a laugh about confined spaces, heights and phobias, all while he's on a rooftop taking a message of himself, it really makes me day. Night dog, says Bug. I'm going to throw this one out to Carl. The tap. It's the key to not making a mess on white clothes with Coca-Cola. Bam. Listen to it.
Oh, wow.
You won't get that out of Pepsi, team. Matt Stoney. The guy, the professional eater.
Yep. I don't know him.
I saw a video where he sculled 2 litres of Coke.
Oh.
Here I was having a hard time with Pepsi. He drank 2 litres of Coke. Crazy.
Yeah, imagine the gas.
He let out a burp after it that sounded like an old animal in a rut. Jet Marshman.
You paint pictures for me with your word. You know what my sons did to me today?
What did your sons do to you today?
Well, they were playing the VR, and they said, "Oh, Mum, come and have a look at where we are." And so I put on the headset, and they were playing like some sort of Star Wars game, and they were standing on this ledge of this massive crater. And truly, it was really frightening. I had to take the headset off. So you've really got to give it a go.
I love that sort of stuff because I will not be able to differentiate between reality. It would really take me down.
Me neither.
We've got Benny and the Jets here. Hey, Benny. Hey, team. My eyes are failing me. Sorry I'm late. How's everyone's day been? Yeah. It's Wednesday.
It's been pretty good.
It's Wednesday. We've got all of the usual suspects here, actually.
Yeah. Beautiful people.
Yeah, all the good people. We've pimped out the channel a little bit, so there's at least a little bit of onboard recognition. I found out what was happening was I lost my Streamlabs account because what I didn't realise is when the last Streamlabs, when that got hacked and stolen, I'd been still, it wasn't synced with my YouTube channel with what it was originally. So what happened was the mini feeds that are coming up that are telling me Donkey Bong super chatted $2, Leah super chatted $22.99, shout out for coffee, etc. All of these things now it shows up as the alerts, righto? So it's good that you get rewarded when you're actually trying to stand out when you do something a little more. I like it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you persevered because, it's been at times a rough ride along these years to keep going, and you have.
Oh, that's true. And they don't see behind the scenes.
Jimmy has a question.
Yep.
Has anyone done medical knockback before?
Well, it's funny you say that because I got a knockback. I got kicked out of the army, basically. I put in an appeal for ulcerative colitis, a lower bowel disease that I got while on military service on operations. And they said, you can't prove it. And I went, what are you talking about? I've got a lower bowel disease that I contracted in my second tour of a equator straddling country, and it happened halfway through that trip, and you reckon it's got nothing to do with it, yet the cause of ulcerative colitis, no one knows what causes it. And they went, yeah, you can't prove it. Army's not going to take liability. You're like, wankers. But then they said yes to everything else. So,
Hey, guess who's here? Dave's here.
Dave D.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, last night, we're going to have another name for Dave D. Call him Steve or something. Get him on here one day. I really wanted him last night. I didn't understand. And I was talking last night, not smack. I was talking shop, Dave, that those that are serving, especially the Tuesday night battalions, it would have been fitting for them to stand around and do an actual syndicate-based activity based on SAS Australia, understanding that it's not actually about SAS. It's about the human dynamics. It's about the team. It's about the structure. It's about leadership. What falls out of it? What is the quickest way to fracture a team? And that would have been a really fantastic thing that would have galvanised all of the ranks and allowed them to have their say in syndicate speak, that would have made something about that Tuesday night quite conducive and quite different, showing that you're able to embrace change and also communication up and down through the rank structures, etc. I don't know if they did it, but because the first thing they do is, but it's not real SAS. It doesn't need to be. It's a human experiment that causes you to ask questions of yourself, of others, of techniques and procedures. So it should be discussed.
Yeah, it should be, indeed. But young Jimmy was meaning for his application, medical problems with application, and that has happened to some subscribers.
And it is quite common, and that is when anything puts an asterisk beside your name or a warning bell, what it can be is go away and find that out, because it's not up to them to take a risk. It's up to you to prove that you're not a liability. So what they do is they say to you, you need to come back with more evidence. It's not, they didn't say no. They said you need to come back with more evidence so we have more faith in your application process. And if you go and get that professional advice that says yes, and that comes back, it shows, one, that you fought for your case, and two, that it might in actual fact be exactly the droid they're looking for, mate. So it's not a time and place to go, this is the first hurdle I've hit, that's it, I'm scratched, my forever job is now never going to happen. That's not the case. We have got many people that get over their actual not application, get over their appeals requests.
Yep. Exactly. It does happen.
Hey, Ron.
It can be done.
Yeah. Yep. When you watched that last night, do you know who did surprise me? I really can't wait for Shannon Ponton, who was the lead guy in The Biggest Loser, for him to step up. He didn't, which really, really surprised me. The Honey Badger didn't step up. He participated but didn't step up. That really surprised me. Mitchell Johnson getting taken down. I don't understand where the mental side comes from, because once you start a physical activity, it's not normally the mental side. It's normally the physical side breaks down, and then the head makes it excuses why you should stop. So I'm really surprised some of the people didn't step up that should have, that come from team-based activities. Never give up. Resilience gets you across the line. It's hard to say that that's not true when you talk to Dave D, the low-altitude amputee that has got over all of his injuries that look like someone that had gone wrong on D-Day, you know.
Yeah. And, to be honest with you, I was a little bit worried.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how it was going to work out for him, but he kept going.
I've never seen someone come back from such a catastrophic injury and then still get across the line.
It was catastrophic. I never want to see Dave D's bones hanging out of his flesh again.
For those that don't know, Leah, you probably don't know this. Simon Powell may not know this. Jimmy probably doesn't know this. Aaron probably doesn't know this. Jimmy Ricard probably doesn't know this, and maybe Benny and the Jets and Conan Peppers. But Dave D fell out of a tree in front of his kids. from a low altitude and fell in such an angle, the only thing holding his leg on was skin. You know, skin. Not even just skin, skin and ligaments, because both of the bones had snapped. There was open fractures. He had looked like a shark had an entree from his lower leg.
Yeah, he did a good job of it for sure.
I can't believe he used Tarzan super grip to put it back together.
Yeah,
that's fake news.
Mrs. is in hospital.
What's going on there?
I think he said she's recovering from gallbladder surgery. I will send her our love, please, Kynan.
Oh, and in some ways that's fantastic, because I tell you, I know people with gallbladder, the stones, etc., to finally get that surgery is amazing, because the pain that they can go through for so many years, where they say the stones are too small to be able to operate on, they have to get to a certain level, and the agony that people can go through is excruciating. You know, so well done, and hopefully this is a small hurdle to be able to get her back and feeling 100% of one of Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, exactly. That's no good. Mutt has question. Speaking about medical, do you think a minor blood deficiency, what do you mean, like iron deficiency or something, would be a major alarm for the army, or would they make me go away and check it out? I think the only thing you can do is try and see what they say.
Where I could see where that could be a dilemma would be from the point of view, can you receive blood in a transfusion? Because there's a lot of people, take for example, my blood can't be used because I've had malaria, etc. Once you've had malaria and all that, you can't be having blood transfusions, etc., because you can have the...
By deficiency, he's meaning maybe, it could be like a platelet count or something, but I don't know. It might have been like an iron deficiency or something like that.
They'll tell you that, mate. I'd just go there.
They will. We wouldn't be able to tell you about that.
Yeah.
And they might make you go away and check it out, you know, because we can only guess at what they will want or not want, or get worried about or not worried about.
Yeah. Yep.
But, you know, if it was something minor, like, you know, being low in iron, I can't see that would be a huge problem, because it would be so easily rectified unless it's caused by a different problem. So I guess it depends on the deficiency.
I had low iron more than half of my career, you know. It makes you so tired.
Yeah, exactly. You know, ladies often get low in iron once a month.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it can cause.
Always keep up with our.
It can cause aggression, from what I've seen.
With some ladies, it can. Yeah.
My blood deficiency makes it so it's harder to for my blood. That's
a little bit like what.
Hemophiliac.
A mild hemophilia, like maybe a von Willebrand's or something.
Yeah.
I have that. My daughter has that. And we bruise really easily, and that. So that could actually be a problem, because you really don't want. You know, the army and haemophilia, I don't think there'd be a lot of roles where they would mix. And
a lot of what we do, you know, what I'd do is I'd potentially go into something similar to journalism, but not so much fake news. Pardon me. And I'd say, look, I want to go over and be a foreign correspondent.
Yeah, you'd have to play the game, though, so you'd have to be into the fake news.
Well, I don't know, because... you don't necessarily have to be the journalist. You can be the camera guy. You could be the sound guy, the light guy.
One of those industries, you know, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you don't play the game, you know, you're not going to get the opportunities, really. I think it's one of those, it is still the entertainment industry when you think about it.
I'd work
nowadays, it's hard to tell the difference with shows like The Project and The View. Where does the entertainment end and the news begin? Did
you see McConaughey just they made it up almost like it was violence towards women, because what's her name from The Project?
I don't know, I don't watch it.
Yeah, the blonde haired girl that leans too far left, that has a go at everyone, with McConaughey. She called him out for supporting President 45. And you're going, that's their president. It's his president. It's his president. Of course he's going to back his president.
And apart from that, he's allowed to.
Yep.
Like I said, if they're going to start policing people's beliefs and thoughts, they should just come out and say it.
Yeah, big more.
Yeah, they should own it. I saw something. Banjo Man has a question. Is a brony infantry a given, or is it preventable through stretching and foam rolling, etc.? Well, if only you'd all stretched and foam rolled. I don't think it's a given, though.
It's not a given, but I can tell you now, being broken is almost a life's probability. Eventually, you're actually going to die.
Exactly. Look at even Fugly. What he does is really hard work, and that is going to take a toll on his body by the time he reaches middle age. Tattooing has taken a toll on my body by the time I became middle-aged. Whatever you do, if it's fairly hard work and has certain strain, sometimes it doesn't matter how well you look after yourself, you're going to feel the strain at some point.
And you know what? You get the opportunity, absolutely, within the military, and no one's done a better job than the modern soldiers now, this generation, of looking after himself and training smart. There's guys that go, you can't go to chiropractors, that's considered witch doctor shit. It's not, I don't even think it's recognised by the military. But yoga, no worries, fill your boots. Go to yoga classes.
Yoga.
You know, you can do all sorts of different flexibility things. I don't understand why someone is not approaching the army and saying, I've got a team of 50 people that are yoga instructors that are going to save you millions and millions of dollars by preventing injuries by introducing yoga, you know, once or twice a week, you know, as a flexibility and injury prevention measure. I don't know. This is starting to go to shit, team. How can I get my name to be? How can I get my name to be green like the others here? Jet, all you got to do is go to where the subscribe button is. If you're on a phone, I don't know if there's.
Yeah, I think you have to be on a PC.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean politically correct.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but the best thing you can do at the moment, team, is press the like button. I don't even know if it makes any difference. I just say it because other people say to do it.
I think it does. I think it at least shows the algorithm that we're here despite what it thinks of us.
Yeah. The reason why we say, and it's good, and thank you for wanting to be a member, Jet. The reason why we say to do it is, like, for example, I've got probably 50 channels that I'm a subscriber to. I've got a few channels that I'm a Patreon to. I don't have any that I've actually joined for, but I will. Because once you join the channel, that means you've gone one step further. You take it seriously. You've invested into a channel, you know, and you should expect something in return.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll move up the ranks like everybody else.
We're going to see our first sergeants in the next few months. I hope it doesn't go to their head.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, look, Tassie Devil became a member on his phone, but I know with my iPad and my iPhone, the join button just isn't there.
Yeah, right.
Give it a go.
Give it a go. If not this time, another time, mate. There's no rush. We want you to stay. You know, it's
Of course, appreciate you.
We'll never bend anyone's arm to stay on this channel. The reason is the last thing you want is a high subscriber count and a low viewer count. You know, you want the people that actually want to be here. And you know what? Every single stream, I learn something from you guys there, saying something back to us. Yeah.
I learn something every stream, all the time.
Yeah, it's good.
I do.
Banjo says might be a yoga instructor.
I love yoga. It's like I would be lost if I didn't do yoga once a day.
Really? I see it as claustrophobia in an open... Just forget that the SAS is onto it and just look at it as a human experiment and think to yourself, where would I fail? Where would I shine? What could I do different? Because I believe it is the only honest show on TV. And they admit it as the actual people on the participants. Yep. Right. I think I'm lagged out. Okay,
yeah,
guys.
Just going to tell them in the chat that we're going to get going.
All right, let's roll. Thank you very much. Where are we?
hen. Feed him a mother-in-law. That should make him happy. Welcome, Calamari.
Thanks, Peppers, and mate, all the best to your lovely lady, and I'm sure she's going to feel 100% better when she's mended. No more of those stones, rolling stones.
Get well soon, Mrs. Peppers.
Okay. See you later.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.
And good night, girls and boys.